Hi, everyone. Welcome to my presentation on organizing the insights function for maximum business impact. Very recently, in collaboration with the WFA, the World Federation of Advertisers, InSites Consulting conducted this series of interviews with global leaders. Global leaders in insights, CMI managers, insights professionals in global companies, and CMOs within global companies leading global brand teams. With those global leaders and in those interviews, we discussed how the insights function can be reinvented so that it really drives the business impact. So let's take a look at some of the key conclusions of this study. First of all, impact. What does that mean? Well, through the interviews, we came to the conclusion that if you want impact, you actually need two elements. First, you need to deeply understand humans. Yes, humans, not consumers, not customers, because we want to understand the human behind the consumer, behind the customer. And we also need to deeply understand the business and the business challenges. If we understand very deeply and holistically human behavior, and we understand what the key challenges of the business is to realize growth, and we can combine those, we can do two things. We create relevance for humans, for consumers, for customers, and we will have business impact. We will show the business where the opportunities and the growth lies. So that means we already have a first conclusion, and that is that if you want to be impactful as an insight function today, you need to be close to consumers and you need to be close to stakeholders. It's only when, as an insights professional within an organization, you understand humans very well and you understand your internal stakeholders very well, that you can create relevance and impact. So let's take a look at the 5 things that are needed to realize impact. What did those global leaders say about that? Because there is a gap. There is a gap between this dream of impact, this dream of creating consumer-centric, customer-centric organizations, and the reality. We are not there yet. We need to talk less and do more to realize it. So 5 actions that we have to take, 5 things that we have to take into account if we want to create such a consumer-centric thinking and acting organization and business, and an organization where insights teams are really driving the business, are really going for business impact. First one is all about investments. If we want to have a stronger insight team, this will call for investments. And of course, in tough economic times, it's important that investments have a return. So not only need insights teams be there to prove that the investments of marketing, branding, and innovation efforts have an impact on the business. No, they also need to prove their own return on investment. So return on investment measurement of the other departments and its own function will be key. We need to show that every single dollar, euro that is invested in research, that it will deliver the impact, the return on investment that we are looking for. The second thing that needs to happen is, if we deeply and holistically need to understand humans and human behavior, we will need to combine different data sources and different methodologies. As it's called, triangulation. We need to look at the same issue from different angles. And that is truly important because in today's world, in today's complex world, probably we cannot understand consumers, humans deeply through just one method, through just one data source. And in a lot of organizations, of course, they are data rich but insights poor. So it's not about all the data. It's about how we can make sense of all the data, how we can connect the dots between the different data points that we get in through those different sources and methodologies. So more than ever, we need sense makers, people who can turn all those different data points into very clear and strong insights around human behavior. So deeply understanding human behavior, holistically understanding consumers and customers is the second point we need. And thirdly, we also need a look at the future, future looking projects, transformation projects, more than ever are part of the portfolio of projects that CMI teams, insights teams, and companies have to conduct. As it was said by one of the global leaders we interviewed, an insights team should be the company's GPS system towards the future. It should show us what the future is all about and what the path is for the company in that future. More than ever, we see that a large portion of the projects that insights teams are conducting is not about insights. It's about foresights. It's about anticipating potential futures. And more than ever, insights teams are the voice of the human, the voice of the consumer, the customer in transformation projects. Projects that talk about how companies should adapt themselves to digital, to sustainability, and to all those other burning issues. Number four is all about owning the insights and translating the insights into very concrete business actions. It's about activating insights, democratizing insights if you want. And there are three elements that are important here. First, it's about attention, creating attention for the customer, the consumer, the human in the business. Making sure that people know why it is important that consumer insights are being gathered, that people understand consumers, feel consumers, that they are close to consumers, that they understand why it's important to be a consumer-centric and acting and thinking business. And here that can be done through training. This can be done through consumer connect and consumer closeness programs where we directly connect consumers with stakeholders. It's all about, is there a culture in the business where people believe that consumer centricity will help them, that closeness to consumers is important, and where they can touch and feel consumers and customers almost. Secondly, it's about the accessibility of insights. Are insights accessible to the many people in the business? Is it something we communicate about? Is it something that we are making a living thing within the organization? Do people know what insights are available? And do they know how to find the insights department when they have a burning question? And then the third component of this activation and democratizing of insights is action. It's about turning insights into very concrete actions. It's about being a business partner and helping stakeholders to translate the insight in what it means for them and what actions they should take upon them. And the fifth point is, well, we already have four important points. Is there any room left? Can we do this all? If insights teams need to do proving the return on investment of other departments, proving their own return on investment, if they also need to think about the future, if they need to be busy with not only insights, but also foresights, if they need to be able to deeply understand human behavior by combining and triangulating different data sources and methodologies, if they need to connect the dots, make sense of it, come to strong consumer insights, and then activate those consumer insights, bring them to life, translate them into concrete actions as a true business partner together with stakeholders, if they need to do all of that, is there any headspace left to do anything else? And is there even enough time and headspace to do all of this already together with what they did already in the past? Or do they need to make choices? Do they need to refocus from getting to data to turning data into insights and insights into action? Is turning insights into action not the true reason of existence for insights departments within organizations? Is that not what they need to do and what they need to be able to focus on? And I think the answer is yes. And then it's, of course, up to agencies to help them out. So, summarizing my presentation with 4 I's of impact of insights. If insights teams within organizations, within companies, want to be more impactful, what do they need to do? In summary, 4 I's. I number 1, integrity. They need to be the true voice of the customer. They need to be, if you want, the voice of truth. They bring the customer, the consumer, the human in every discussion. And they measure very carefully what the impact is of all marketing actions, all innovation actions, and their own actions. Second I is inspiration. They need to provoke the business, inspire the business with fresh human insights. Insights that show where the future opportunities lie for the business. Insights that can tell people in the organization where the growth is. And they need to bring those insights to life so that the many people in the business are convinced that this is the way forward. The third I is intuition, which is all about that GPS system towards the future. They need to help people in the business to see what the future might bring, what possible futures are, and they need to help people in the business to anticipate those potential futures. They need to be true business partners that help to turn insights and foresights into concrete action. So that's the more creative part. That's the more intuitive part, if you want, of the function. And then last but not least, interdependence, which means that if they need to do all of this, they need to be very well networked in the business. They need to know the many people in the business, and the people need to trust them. It's all about relationship building. It's about trust. And it's also about being vulnerable from times to time, but very well networked. So instead of being inward looking and very much focused on data, insights professionals and organizations should be more outward going and be more focused on insights and especially on business impact. That's the shift, I think, that is needed. And that's the shift that the global leaders we talk to have described. And like I've already said, if they need to do all of this, if they need to take into account those 4 insights, impact, I's, then they need to learn from agencies. They need to lean on agencies. And agencies need to be enablers. Agencies need to help people in organizations, the counterparts within companies, they need to help them to free up time to so that they can focus on what really matters. So one of our interviewees said, automate or outsource. We need to automate things so that we can free up our heads, or we need to outsource it to smart agencies. So technology and smart consultative agencies will be the helpers of insights professionals in the future so that they have more time to focus on what really matters. And what really matters is the insights, the impact, not the data and the research. And of course, agencies also need to move up the kind of value chain, and they also need to be creative in helping their clients with delivering the impact, with coming up with creative techniques to find insights and to turn insights into true actions and business impact. So a new role for insights professionals, but also a new role for agencies. And I think that's a bright future that we have in front of us. So I hope that you enjoyed this presentation, this study that we did together with WFA, the World Federation of Advertisers. And now I will give the word to a couple of actors in the LATAM insights landscape on how they look at a couple of these results that I just shared with you. And afterwards, there is the opportunity, of course, to ask questions.
Es como si fuera el relato bíblico del origen del mundo. En el inicio estuvieron las personas, que son el kilómetro cero, que son la chispa inicial. Luego de ahí aparecemos nosotros con nuestras ideas, la industria, las propuestas, las soluciones, pero en el inicio están las personas. Sus demandas, sus necesidades, sus deseos es lo que activa todo lo que viene después. Así que me parece que llegó esa hora, ¿sí? Llegó la hora de que todos los procesos y todo lo que puede ofrecer la industria arranquen en la escucha de las personas. Muchas veces nuestra industria pregunta, ¿sí? Cuando preguntamos es porque ya tenemos nuestras ideas, nuestras hipótesis, nuestros conceptos armados. Entonces preguntamos a las personas para ver qué les parecen nuestras ideas. Y me parece que, dicho metafóricamente, tenemos que preguntar menos y empezar escuchando, empezar viendo, empezar observando. Empezar entendiendo a esas personas y a partir de ahí pensar qué podemos ofrecer y qué podemos dar. Así que no tengo ninguna duda que el consumidor es persona y que el centro es el inicio, ¿sí?
Parte del problema que hoy existe en muchas de las organizaciones y de las agencias es que todavía no se hizo el switch respecto del cambio de paradigma que estamos viviendo. Nosotros hoy estamos viviendo una era de lo genuino, de lo real, de la transparencia, en donde las cosas que no son reales o las cosas que son maquilladas o las cosas que están lejanas a ese pensamiento realmente no penetran y no tienen futuro. Hoy, lamentablemente, todavía seguimos viendo mucho pensamiento de oficina, ¿sí? En las organizaciones, en las agencias y en las empresas. Y la realidad es que las personas de investigación de mercado, del mundo de investigación de mercado, hoy tienen la oportunidad, pero también el deber de acercar a los directorios con esa realidad que no solamente los clientes les están pidiendo, sino también sus consumidores y la sociedad en sí misma.
Así que bueno, muchas veces mientras corro pienso en la estrategia del running como el futuro de lo que tenemos que buscar con las marcas. Todas las personas que corremos, que participamos de algunas competencias, de maratón, de running, de lo que sea, nos enfrentamos a algo que es muy simple y muy obvio, que es las marcas, bebidas, alimentos, lo que vamos necesitando consumir, están en nuestro camino, aparecen en nuestro camino. Están los puestos de hidratación, de alimentación. Nunca se nos plantea desviarnos para ir a buscar, detenernos, volver a buscar algo, tomar un atajo. Entonces yo pienso muchas veces en la estrategia del running. Creo que eso es tener a las personas en el centro. Ir al camino que ellos tomaron y acompañarlos. Y darles lo que necesitan, pero respetándoles el camino. Y nosotros estando a su lado. No planteándoles ninguna incomodidad, sino priorizando el camino de ellos y viendo cómo nosotros acompañamos en ese camino.
Hoy tenemos que entender que a diferencia de lo que sucedía antes, el amor por una marca o la preferencia por una marca no la vamos a construir hablando o diciendo cosas, sino haciendo y mostrando ese cambio y mostrando acciones concretas que terminen generando ayudas a las personas en múltiples facetas, ¿sí? Y a la sociedad en múltiples facetas. Por eso poner en el centro a las personas es realmente una buena estrategia y hoy entender que ese motor del impacto comercial implica entender las necesidades con profundidad, integralmente, no solo de una perspectiva que puede ser la económica, sino también los miedos, las preocupaciones y linkear la propuesta del servicio o del producto de una manera genuina con lo que les sucede a los individuos.
Me gusta un un caso de Santander, del Banco Santander, que detectó barrios y poblaciones y lugares que a veces se dice marginales y en realidad son marginados, donde no había ninguna institución bancaria, ¿sí? Entonces el banco se instaló ahí con una sucursal y además capacitó a toda la barriada sobre, bueno, qué se puede hacer en un banco, cómo manejar sus ahorros o sus jornales, qué hacer con el dinero, qué oportunidades aparecían. Así que capacitó a la gente, y no solo que la capacitó, sino que a las personas que tomó como empleados son personas de ese mismo lugar. Con lo cual seguramente también achicó las distancias entre la institución y las personas, ¿no? Generó más confianza, más cercanía, porque en ese barrio podían ver a la gente del barrio trabajando en el banco, ¿sí? Y eso seguramente impactó en confianza, impactó en educación financiera, impactó en beneficio para el banco y también en beneficio para las personas de ese barrio. Así que bueno, ese me parece un gran ejemplo de cómo se puede impactar en varios ejes a la vez. Y es un ejemplo social y comprometido y casi emocional.
Creo que el principal desafío que hoy tienen los insights es evitar el one size fits all. A veces es mucho mejor evitar grandes acciones comerciales y enfocarnos solamente en aquellas que agreguen valor para la compañía y que representen un valor genuino para la compañía. De vuelta, hablamos de ese cambio de paradigma de lo genuino, de lo real y de lo que genera soluciones concretas.
Pero también hay otros ejemplos que son hasta más divertidos, ¿sí? Como las pastas Barilla en Italia. Y lo que hizo Barilla es ofrecer playlists que acompañan con distintas músicas a distintas pastas y que tienen duraciones similares a la que se demora en cocinar y en preparar ese plato. Así que me parece un buen ejemplo, divertido, porque pudieron pensar que no solo hay consumidores, sino que hay personas que están antes de ese consumo y que está bueno acompañarlas mientras preparan, porque a veces el estado de ánimo en la preparación puede no ser el mejor. Y una playlist que además ayuda en la duración y que conectaron distintos ritmos y distintos géneros con distintas pastas fue una idea divertida y me parece que el vínculo con la marca empieza antes.
La mejor forma de entender la realidad es ir en busca de esa realidad, ¿sí? No alejados del escritorio o alejados de ese pensamiento de oficina. Es ir al encuentro de las cosas y vivirlas, sentir lo que la calle nos está diciendo.